So it's another year of E3, and while I could talk about the other stuff, I'm not that interested in Square Enix's stuff. I'm not really interested in plenty of the other people that showed up for E3, mostly because, well, being honest, a lot of the games that have come out from developers and publishers that were being shown, I haven't really been interested in. There's been a few, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it only seems like they're just there for the money and stuff. And of course, Nintendo is usually there for the money. I mean, they are the worst when it comes to being greedy. But I happen to really enjoy their games. I will mostly ignore their greediness. Sometimes I'll put my foot down, but that's my choice as a consumer. But their E3 presentation, which I happened to catch, I got to catch like 38 minutes uh, straight. I did miss like I think the last two, but I did catch it a little bit later, and I want to talk about what is all there because there's quite a few things to be happy about. Uh, I think I'm gonna go in order of what I personally liked uh, from the direct, and I'm gonna go in order of my top five, and then we'll get into the other stuff. But one of the first things I want to talk about is Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is finally a 2D Metroid. It has been so long. I mean, Metroid Fusion, right? I think it's the last one, and it's so long that I struggle to remember when the last time. It has to be Metroid Fusion. There was the remake of Samus Returns, but I mean, well, a new idea. But Metroid Dread looks really cool. I think the design philosophy around it looks very nice. I like the kind of horror theme they seem to be going with. A little more just horror, just roots, I guess, would be the way to put it. Not theme, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a great kind of return for Metroid, especially since most of the generation that is like the main target of the Switch hasn't played a Metroid game when it's been new. 19 years or 20 years, one Metroid Fusion, 2001, right? I don't know, but basically it's been 2 decades. There's been 2 generations of gamers that have come by and not seen a new 2D Metroid game. The last generation got Metroid Prime for their help, which I mean is a good substitute, but now the new generation needs a Metroid game to know why Samus is in Smash, basically. Also, if I accidentally skip, or not skip, I accidentally call it Samus, that's how I pronounced it for a long time. But Samus is basically a character that's only been in Smash for the past decade, hasn't really mattered outside of Smash, so it's nice to finally get this 2D, and it looks really good. I think it's going to be very surprising. I'm always a fan of Metroid games. I think they create some of the most atmospheric content you can have. I think back to Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, even the original Metroid had these moments of, oh, what? Oh, that type of moment where you're so into the game you can't really jump back out and think of where you are. You're too busy thinking in the terms of the game, what you see on the screen, and I almost want to say a limited fashion, but it's immersion more like it. It's hard to really kind of exemplify that type of feeling, I guess. It's really hard, but that's what I get from Metroid games, at least 2D ones, and I'm excited to return to that. I think the second thing I really want to talk about is Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I'm super excited for this. It has been so long since I've been excited about a Monkey Ball just thing. It's been like a decade because Banana Blitz wasn't that great. And everything after that wasn't. There was a remake or remaster HD of Banana Blitz, and I don't care. It all sucks. But this seems to be a remaster of mostly deluxe from what I could tell in the short amount of time we got. But it also has Monkey Ball 1 and 2 in it. It's probably going to be more based on deluxe, which I'm fine with. but it's finally time to get Monkey Ball into a new system that isn't so, I guess it isn't axed in features, axed in fun, axed in just challenge. It's nice to finally have Monkey Ball back. There's not much more for me to say here. It's really just amazing. It launches October 8th, I think. It was already leaked, but it's nice to have the announcement for sure. Which I think October 5th is Monkey Ball, and then October 8th is Metroid, I want to say. I think it's October 8th. So that, my October is filled right now. Those are two things I'm getting instantly, unless they're like $5 billion. Even then, I still might try. But the next thing I was very excited to see was the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild 2 is kind of the name everyone calls it by. But the reason I was so excited to see it was because I am interested in how they improve upon the original Breath of the Wild, because it's the most sequel-like Zelda we've ever received, whereas Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are also very close. It's kind of almost like they're two parallel games, whereas this is a direct sequel basis game. And I want to say I'm already liking this way better than my initial reaction to when I first played Breath of the Wild. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Breath of the Wild, the original, mostly because there's a lot of empty space, there's a lot of useless space, and it feels at times like Skyward Sword copied Skyrim and then became Breath of the Wild. It feels very limiting. There's some really cool stuff in the game. There's a lot of really interesting stuff to explore, but the problem is that even if you just really want to have fun, you're messing with the movement, and even then, when you first get into the game, the movement is very kind of hard to get used to. Not saying it's hard, but it's not as accessible to go fast, and that's what you want to do through empty areas, and there's a bunch in Breath of the Wild. But with the sequel, it looks like they are adding Sky Islands, which I'm super excited. This fills up a lot of the area. I really hope this does not mean they're going to neglect the ground, if they're going to leave it as is, because it would be very nice if we are on a similar map or close to it, but with Sky Islands, I feel like that would be very nice. Speaking of Zelda, this isn't in the order of things that are of importance, but it is kind of along with Breath of the Wild. They did show a bit of Skyward Sword. I don't really care. Skyward Sword is not worth $60 in any capacity. It's been out for a decade pretty much. Don't buy it on the Switch, please. But Game & Watch The Legend of Zelda was announced as well. I don't really care. It's the same with the Mario one. It's nice, it's pretty, cool, whatever. But that launches the 12th of November, and then Skyward Sword is going to be coming, I think, in a month, 2 months, thereabout. But yeah, it's very nice. And then speaking of stuff that is coming soon, this one is not coming soon, I guess. Terrible segue. But we had the new Smash character from Tekken, Kazuya. I always say as Kazuya, but I know I'm saying it wrong, I think. But that was shown off from Tekken. Very cool character. I'm not a big Tekken player, but I do actually I know what the character does and stuff. And I'm going to be completely honest, I was kind of amazed by the trailer. It was funny, it was entertaining, and it had a nice pacing. Whereas Smash trailers always seem to want to stick to either funny or kind of shock value. This one kind of does both, and I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna be honest, probably my favorite Smash trailer we've received, and that's including ones all the way back to Brawl that we've gotten, like in the Wario and the Snake one, and yeah. But when it comes down to it, I really enjoy the introduction. It's probably, I really hope it doesn't follow the other fighting game characters with automatic turnarounds, but more than likely it will. I hope it's more of a brawler character as well than a fighting game character, because we've already gotten a fighting game character as DLC, and I hope it has a little more brawler-esque type of feel, because we haven't gotten a brawler DLC at all. It would be very nice to receive one. Another one we saw was Cruisin' Blast, which I thought was an interesting arcade game, I guess, but it looks a little too dated, I guess. Its art style and the way it looks and everything, I feel like it's gonna kind of go for someone like me who remembers arcade racers a lot more, but for the new generation I feel like it's gonna do eh. And while we're on the talk of kind of stuff that might not do well, we're going to talk about the frame rate problems of certain games. So there was 3 games that I remember seeing that had frame rate problems. One of them was smaller, so we'll get it out of the way. It was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Obviously, this isn't going to be a big toll. The game does run in HD on the other consoles pretty easily. It's a small game as well. I'm glad it's finally come to the Switch. I feel like it kind of, I don't know, missed its mark. I feel like it could have been released a little bit earlier, but it's still nice. It'd be nice to play on the go. Weird Pro Skater on the go. What a weird world. Without the PlayStation, that little TV screen thing. Oh my god. But Worms Rumble was... I know it's like 32 player multiplayer or whatever, but it showed, and it releases 23rd of June, which is scary as fuck because the frame rate got so low in what they were showing, and I even checked to make sure that this is how low it got. I checked to make sure it wasn't my stream or later the video lagging or anything. It just runs like that, and I don't really like that. I hope it's changed dramatically because I do not want to run around in an arena shooter with 22 frames as a consistency. It doesn't seem like a good idea. Another thing with frames is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. This didn't have as bad of a frame rate loss, doesn't seem, but it's still a bigger game and it doesn't run at the consistent frames that the other consoles would, put out. But it's cool for people that are Dragon Ball fans that only have a Switch versus the other consoles. It's really nice. We got Doom Eternal DLC. I don't care. I'll be honest. I zero cares. Mario and Rabbids was also announced at Ubisoft's E3 stuff, which is the only reference to other E3 stuff that I'll talk about. But it looks really cool. It looks like they're improving some stuff. And considering that I haven't played the first one and I've been told it's good, yeah. That's basically what I got for that. Then we got another game. I don't want to talk about this, but we got Shin Megami Tensei 5. And one of the things that I don't like about Shin Megami Tensei nowadays is the kind of filling of shoes that they have to do. With Persona 5 being their most popular, just anything Atlus has produced, it really sucks to see them try and fulfill this type of feeling from Persona 5 when I know they're so good at doing radically different stuff. And Shin Megami Tensei doesn't try to really follow it, but you could tell there's these connections and these kind of flows from Persona 5. And as someone who has loved the series for a long time, it really sucks to kind of see it fall under the popularity problem that is caused where you're trying to please everyone. Here's a hint, you're never going to please everyone. Please just make the game so I can go back to it in 20 years and still love it like I do with plenty of other games. But maybe it'll surprise me, but I wasn't amazed by the trailer. There were some frame rate issues a little bit in the running section. There was also, I don't know if it was an error or something, but some of the UI has some problems. Also, whoever named the main character, Protag, Real Heroes. But another thing that I saw, this is kind of going in the Mario section, but we have Mario Golf was showing off a bit more. Very on it. I've kind of grown out of Mario sports games, so how I feel about them is very cool, that's why I feel. But one thing that was announced was Mario Party Superstars was it's an actual like Mario Party game, and it has 100 games from the other games in the series, and it's like the top 100 for 3DS, except apparently they're actually taking the good mini games. Hopefully this time, please. But it also has some returning boards like Peach's Castle from the first N64 title of just Mario Party, and then Space World, which is Mario Party 2. We didn't see much more than that, or at least I didn't catch anything much more. I wasn't paying attention for 100% of that, but it looks like it'll be a decent kind of fun thing, and it will have online capabilities at launch. Oh my god, it's amazing what they learn. It's amazing what happens when Super Mario Party does better now when online capabilities are, you know, in the game than at launch. But whatever, just ignore me over here. We got WarioWare stuff. I don't think I talked. Did I skip it? But whatever. WarioWare, get it together. It has some co-op stuff. I'm a big fan of WarioWare. Every now and then, I'm not as big a fan as a lot of people, but it is definitely a fun minigame thing. I think it's also the second thing that comes out September 10th, which I don't remember what the other thing is top of my head, but there's a lot of stuff in June, September, and November this year. But WarioWare, it's interesting. I don't really have a care for a lot of it. It'll be cool to play every once in a while, I guess. And then we get to Life is Strange. I don't care. I haven't cared about Life is Strange, never played it, never even been interested in it. Yeah, apparently there's also a Life is Strange remastered collection, which, yeah, I always fuck up its pronunciation. Danganronpa, I think is close enough, is getting the collection. I have played very little. I've played one of these at one point, and it's definitely something where I do not know enough about the series to really make a judgment, but this might be when I actually play the series, because it's all in one collection. I don't have to go search for it, though depends on if I actually really want to. But I think that's about it, besides one. Oh, there was Project Zero, Medium of the Blackwater. Wait, isn't it just Fatal Frame? Yeah. Sorry, I'm using a list right now to try and remember it, and this is Project Zero. It says that it's Fatal Frame, but that's weird that it would put Project Zero. When it comes down to it, the Fatal Frame stuff that I've kind of always enjoyed, I don't really care anymore. It's not as horrifying as it used to be, and I've kind of outgrown the horror genre a lot of the time. Still go back for nostalgia, but there's not a lot of games that can shock value me anymore. And I guess the final thing that I'm going to talk about is Advance Wars. Finally get some more access than the GBA. Advance Wars will be coming. 1+2 Reboot Camp is a remastered, I guess it's supposed to be one game, but it's gonna have both the campaigns in one, which is very interesting. That's at least what I get from the description of it. I'm down. It comes December 3rd, which I feel like you could have announced it a little later to kind of get the, oh, Advance Wars is out now type of feel. But overall, Advance Wars is very exciting. I think it's probably my 5th most exciting thing on the Direct, which I do want to say the Direct was pretty decent for me. I know some people were like, I only want this, I only want Bayonetta, I only want F-Zero, which I'm sorry for you guys, but you never get anything. But I got pieces of what I want. I got Breath of the Wild 2 showing that it might not be as bad as the original Breath of the Wild. Not saying that it was a bad game, just saying it was just decent for me. We've got Super Monkey Ball finally making a return in a successful fashion, hopefully. And Advance Wars, of course, which is a underrated game for the GBA. And Metroid Dread, which is my big winner for basically the whole Direct. So I do want to know what you think of the Direct. Did you watch it all the way through? Did you go, hate it, and skip out? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? Anything? Do leave a comment. It does make me happy to actually talk to people. But have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Be safe. And as always, till then.